Vice President Sara Duterte denied Tuesday that she is behind the cyber libel charges faced by longtime activist and her former opponent for the vice presidency, Bello, which was filed by a former Davao City official now working for the office of the vice president. "I have never filed a libel case in my life. Criticisms do not deserve even a backward glance because the accomplishments of Davao City under my leadership are already set in stone," Duterte said in a statement. Mr. Bello should focus on salvaging what remains of his dignity and self-respect. "I am asking him to stop obsessing over me, and stop blaming me for his fall from grace," she added. But Bello, arrested Monday in Quezon City on 2 counts of cyber libel filed by former Davao Information Officer Jeffrey Tupas, maintained that Duterte is the moving force behind the charges and accused the vice president's camp of having weaponized the law. "The cyber libel charge against me was a vindictive response to questions I raised about Vice President Duterte's performance as mayor of Davao that she was expected to answer as a candidate for higher office," Bello said. Instead of engaging in democratic exchange, her camp weaponized the law by filing a cyber libel case against me, declared me persona non grata in Davao, and branded me a narco-politician. Bello had called Tupas a drug dealer after she was relieved from her post at Davao City when she was found to be attending a party in Davao de Oro in November 2021 where 1.5 million pesos worth of illegal drugs were seized. Tupas has since returned to Duterte's fold and has been working as the head of OVPA's Media and Public Relations Division. Speaking to reporters present during his arrest, Bello said he is innocent of the charge. Bello, a former Akbayan Party list representative, filed a counter-affidavit in April and called the accusations politically motivated, frivolous, and inconsistent with facts. But Duterte said Bello should stop deflecting blame, playing the victim, and dragging her into his legal woes, and instead should be reminded of the fact that a civilized and democratic society does not respect hubris. "The right to freedom of speech and expression does not protect anyone from defiling the name and reputation of others," Duterte said. Bello, however, hit Duterte for having little respect for freedom of speech and knows only the art of intimidation. "She should act in a manner that befits a vice president and cease disgracing herself and her office by her futile defense of an indefensible act," he said. Press freedom and freedom of expression advocates have long called for the decriminalization of libel, which is often used to harass and silence journalists and dissenters. Bello is set Tuesday to post bail amounting to 48,000 pesos for each count of cyber libel. Bello said in messages shared to reporters that every requirement for him to be released on bail has been met, are being notarized and will be submitted to QC executive judge for the issuance of release order. He hopes to be released by 2 p.m.
Mga Lods, basahin natin. Just in, QC Police arrest ex-VP candidate Walden Bello in his house in Quezon City at around 4 p.m. Monday, according to his staff Leomar Doctolero. This is in connection with the cyber libel case filed by former Davao City Info Officer Jeffrey Tupas. Actually, hindi ko talaga makakalimutan itong matandang ito kasi siya yung grabe makapagsalita during election, di ba? Kung ano-ano ang mga sinasabi kila BBM, lalo na kay Inday Sara, di ba? Kung makapaghamon siya, wagas.
The Marcos dynasty and the Duterte dynasty, we're seeing how they represent really the greatest evil of the political system.
Grabe no, kung maka-greatest evil, ayan, kulong ka ngayon. Diba? Imaginein mo, talo ka na nga, makukulong ka pa. Sa sobra kasing kagustuhan, diba, na maungusan sila BBM at Inday Sara, kung ano-ano na ang mga sinasabi at binibintang.
"When I was a child, my father gave me sound advice, never listen to attack hurled against our family, and I took it to heart during my VAPI campaign. I never shared my spotlight with Walden Bello despite the offensive he launched against me," I was focused on drilling my education platform in all the rallies that I could muster. In fact, I have never filed a libel case in my life. Criticisms do not deserve even a backward glance because the accomplishments of Davao City under my leadership are already set in stone. Instead of deflating blame, playing the victim of an imaginary case of political persecution, and dragging me into his legal woes, I suggest that Mr. Bello be reminded of the fact that a civilized and democratic society does not respect hubris. The right to freedom of speech and expression does not protect anyone from defiling the name and reputation of others. I expected him to know that Filipinos have a distaste for those who commit crimes and commit crimes with impunity. That he calls the charge against him silly speaks volumes of Mr. Bello's character. It was clearly derision of and an insult to the prosecutors and the time and effort they put in to uphold the rule of law. Mr. Bello, supposedly a respected international educator and a human rights activist, took it so low and displayed a disgraceful version of himself, making him the perfect poster boy of someone we hope our children will not become when they grow up. Mr. Bello should focus on salvaging what remains of his dignity and self-respect. I am asking to stop obsessing over me and stop blaming me for his fall from grace. Thank you. Saraduterte, Vice President of the Philippines, Secretary of the Department of Education.